And we're live. We're live. We're extra live. What's up, everybody?
Double X Live.
I can't see a damn thing. Everything's red. So,
Amazing.
I wanted to say also, I'm still trying to figure out when I do these streams, like as the stream goes on, my voice and video become more separated from each other. And there's supposed to be a setting that you just check a box.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like don't do timestamps or something.
Yeah, like sync my bloody vocals up,
Yeah,
mate, is the boxy one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it. The box is supposed to be in the window, isn't there. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen again this time. What's up? Okay, so you might wonder why I'm wearing such cool glasses. This is like for a new shirt, guys. I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh,
I
beautiful.
posted it to social medias. It's Cobra Commander, right? But it's like that, the G.I. Joe sticker album had these things, and the Transformers had these things where there was like the
dope.
blue and the red layered, and when you wore the red, it cut the red out, so it only saw the blue. So you guys can get the effect here. Hold on.
Yeah, on the Transformers, it was tech specs.
Tech specs,
I used to love those on the Transformers. Look at that. Oh, it's Cobra Commander. Was once a man.
I was once a man.
Was once a man.
Isn't it? That's freaking
Perfect.
cool. All right,
Nailed
so
it.
if and these and the shirt, so the shirt comes with the glasses, right? Now the shirt's
Amazing.
$25. I was talking to Chris about this before.
Cheap.
This is 8-bit zombie. If you don't know, $25 for the shirt. It comes with the glasses, and
Amazing.
we're not done. This giant bag full of stickers, right? And there's like a sweet Cobra Commander patch in here. So
I thought you were going to say the Steel Brigade patch was in there, the gold head one.
Oh my god, it is. It's original.
Could you imagine?
It's a whole stack of them. There's like 50 here. The 8-bit zombie, logo sticker, which is amazing, right? And then there's
Nice.
I didn't realize there was one of these in there. What does this look like, guys?
Get your shades on, quick.
Look, hold on. Let's see what it looks like.
It's going to be like something really obnoxiously horrible, isn't it? Oh, no,
it's the 8-bit
it's the hand
zombie.
again. It's the 8-bit zombie logo.
It's a penis. No, okay, so it's 8-bit.
That's what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be something really like inappropriate or horrible.
One of these.
Amazing. Gorgeous.
And then he's got
Gorgeous.
like Garbage Pail Kid cards that are 8-bit zombie, like Cobra Commander, right? Creepy Commander. And he's got like actual like vintage like Ghostbusters 2 cards. Strong.
I think
Man.
I have that card.
Do you have this one?
That's brilliant.
Do you have this one?
No,
above your
the
bed?
Ghostbusters 2 one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I do not have the 18 card. That is brilliant.
Man, there's so many good things. These things, I forget what these are called. Is Nuptial Nightmare this one?
That's brilliant. That
Guess
is brilliant. Triceratops just going absolutely skits on everyone.
This used to happen in the 80s all the time.
Yeah, like loads of weddings were damaged by rampaging Triceratops. Beautiful.
Oh, and here's the
Beautiful.
He-Man one. So there's also a He-Man shirt, guys, that does the same thing. So here's the sticker of it.
You can see.
And it goes to Skeletor, of course.
He-Man.
Oh, that's pretty
Brilliant. It's an easy one to do. Just all nasal. That's cute. Oh, I love that effect. Those stickers were my favorite. That effect.
Look at this one. This is like an original character, Thrasher, that he created. He actually made an action figure of this guy.
So good.
And then the patch, of course. You ready for this patch? Oh. In
Brilliant.
Cobra we trust, join or die. Look at that. The lightning bolts, the red eyes.
That's superb.
The Cobra around the world. The snake with the
That's
sword.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So, I have, so guys, if you, I should have put this up, but.
Well, we were looking at patches and
know.
stickers. It's fine.
Chris is above everything. Look at you. You're just floating above everything. I got to move you down.
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't see that happening.
There you go. You're good now. So this is, it's so 8-bit zombie. I think this is 8bitzombie.com, but go check him out. He does like amazing stuff. So, I got this actually last week while I was away, and I couldn't wait to get home to get the shirt. And then I'm like, oh, I'll wear it today. So here we are. today.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everybody. All right.
I'm doing some sort of Inception thing right now.
Oh my god, that's cool. It just keeps going like infinitely.
Yeah.
So
I'm watching to see when I start floating around the screen now. I'm
oh
interested
yeah,
in that.
you're not floating. It's actually you were just the layers were so you were above the graphic. So I should just put you front and
Nice.
center, and then no matter what graphic I put up, your video sits on top of it, so nobody can see anything. They just see you and see you reacting
that's
to it.
amazing.
Yeah, there it is.
That's amazing.
Watch me. I move you down.
I love that. Yeah, how are you doing, buddy? It's been a while, hasn't it?
I feel like it's been a while. Yeah, I had to take a few weeks off with different things. Then I did one with Word Burglar, and
Your real. That's your real best mate, isn't it?
yeah. Well, he's Canadian. I'm from Buffalo.
Backup.
You're you're European missions.
Yes, I am. I'll take that. I'll be the European exclusive for this one.
We're all on the same team. This is this is international heroes. We have the USA, Canada, and the UK all represented in this trifecta.
Yeah, I was going to say I would have been European missions a few years ago, but probably not anymore. Now I'm
Your Alabama missions. No,
I'm special Brexit or something. I don't know what you call it.
Rhode Island mission.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. What have you been up to in that time?
Well, I mean, other than this 8-bit zombie thing, I don't think we have anything to talk about. I mean, nothing's really happened at all.
It's been a really dull period of time, and like people might be wondering, like Chris is usually even more bouncy than this, and it's because yesterday we had probably the longest. Actually, I'm going to rewind. I'm going to take it back to last week and a half ago. Actually, no, it's probably like last week now, isn't it? It's been about a week. Has it been about a week since I had my entire body out? 2 weeks, sorry. I've lost all, because I've been quarantined as well. So 2 weeks ago, I had something to eat in the evening, in the dinner time, Friday night, and thought everything was cool. Put an episode of Dave on Hulu, which is quite funny. I was getting about
Dave.
half.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like he's like this rapper, this struggling white Jewish rapper, and it's hilarious. And anyway, so I got about halfway through one of the episodes. I was like, I'm feeling a bit gammy. I don't feel too good. Like it felt like a bit of a blockage going on here. Threw up, which was a bit of a shame because the dinner was lovely. So I had to repeat that again, but in the other way round. Threw up and went to lay down and was all night long in agony. It got to about 7 a.m. the next day, and I was still all over the place, like struggling, really ill, really just the pain was killing me.
Do you think you had like COVID or something? Like, were you like, what's going on?
I tell you what, I just thought, because I'd had this before. Do you remember? Did you go to Assembly Required?
I did not.
Last year at Assembly Required, Kate and I drove up. We had food, dinner, and then we went to the hotel night before the show, and I had the same thing happen to me then, right? So I managed to kind of brush it off somehow, and like almost like, I don't know, like almost a year later.
November or something?
Yeah. Okay. So what, 8 months, 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. So it comes back again. And at no point did I think what it actually was. So we went to the urgent care. We decided, let's screw it. We've got good health insurance, thankfully. Let's just do it. Let's go to urgent care and rip the Band-Aid off, literally. They checked me around. They pushed on my side, and he was like, and I winced, and he's like, that could be appendicitis. And I was just like, what? Do you know what is happening in the next few weeks? I cannot have appendicitis.
Oh man.
They CT scan. I had to drink this.
The barium
contrast.
Yeah.
It was lemon flavored contrast, and it was hideous. Next to that,
I've done that.
Went into a CT scan. They confirmed an hour and a half later that it was appendicitis. While I lay there, kind of in discomfort. Oh. And then they're like, it's appendicitis, you've got to go to the hospital. And I was like, okay, yeah, brilliant, that sounds good. So went to the hospital, all the blood in the world was removed from me. Went basically into this separate room. They said, right, your surgery is at 3:00. Okay, brilliant. 5 o'clock later, and I'm still sitting there, and I'm like, Good job this Star Wars marathon is on cable, because otherwise I would be bored out of my mind right now. I got to Revenge of the Sith. I think I got to like halfway through the end of Revenge of the Sith, and they're like, "We're taking you in," and I'm glad, because I would have had to see Padme go into into labor and then die
You'd
from a
rather
broken heart.
have appendix surgery than watch any more of the prequels.
Than watch Revenge. Yeah, exactly. So I struggled my way through. Fortunately, I think I missed most of Attack of the Clones, which is definitely the worst one out of all of them.
Best
in any
name,
case,
best name though.
Oh yeah, totally. Best name, worst movie. So yeah, went in, had they put me under, and I don't remember anything. It's really weird. Like I go into this room, they shaved my stomach, which is hilarious. And there's a picture of me online with this hairy chest, and then there's this block of white where my stomach was completely shaved. Had fun. That was funny. At
least did they do like a fun pattern or anything, or is it just a square?
No, I thought like a knob. They were going to draw a knob on it or something. No, they didn't. They just literally shaved it completely bald. And then I don't remember much after that, but that was shortly after they put the mask on and I went under. And then the next thing I know, I wake up and I've got these 3 little kind of like patches on my stomach, one under my belly button, one to the left of my belly button, and as you look at me, to the right, and inside my belly button, like or over my belly button. And what they do is they go in with these 2 tiny holes at the bottom and the side. They go in with these like robot arms, pincers, and they they cut your appendix away from everything that's around it. And mine was apparently sweating a hideous substance around my body, and that they said that it was lucky I went in and got it done. Otherwise, it would have been a hell of a lot worse, and I would have been in there for months. Apparently,
it happened to my stepbrother. They told him he had the flu. They sent him home. They told him he was sick for like 2 weeks. It had burst in his body, and there was so much toxic ooze inside of him. He had to have like a tube inserted for like 2 years after that.
Shit.
He almost died several times because of this. Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel as, but I mean that's the other thing I was going to say. The whole process was so smooth. Like I had so many I had the IV going in, and I had antibiotics, and I had meds and all sorts going into me. I'm the type of person, I don't usually take anything. I won't take painkillers. I won't take anything. If I have a headache, I just ride it out or whatever.
But morphine, straight morphine.
That was so. Well, they said, do you want morphine or do you want like this other stuff, the normal stuff, and the lesser intense? And I'm like, lesser intense, please, because I do not want a bloody morphine addiction.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So they gave me the kind of standard issue stuff, and I didn't really it was uncomfortable. We got fireworks going on. It was uncomfortable.
Is that what that was?
That was my appendix. My appendix just burst, guys. They forgot to take it out. So I had all this stuff going on. Don't usually take the meds, but gave in because it was just awful. And then after the surgery, I wake up and I'm like, oh, cool. That's good. A little bit sore, a little bit delicate, but mainly just groggy from being on heroin or whatever they were pumping into my body. So I had to keep going. When I went to the toilet, I had to take the bloody drip, the IV on a wheelie thing into the toilet with me, but it was plugged in and it didn't have a very good battery, so I had to keep going, getting in these awkward positions to unplug it, even though I just had surgery. Anyway, they go in laparoscopically. Yep. They trim away all of the stuff around it, and then they put it in a plastic bag and they pull it out of your belly button.
Kerouac says the grossest nerd out ever.
Sorry, Kerouac. We will stop talking about this in a minute. Anyway, long story short, I got home and was healed in about a day, and I was fine. And which people are confused. They're like, no, you must have had some sort of pain. I was like, honestly, it was so smooth in and out. And I got home and laid down for a bit. Next day, I was still a little bit I was still kind of delicate, but only because I didn't want to do any damage. And honestly, the marks have gone. There's nothing there anymore.
I know. I had my gallbladder taken out the same way, through the belly button laparoscopically. Yeah, and I was fine right after. So they're just don't lift any heavy stuff for a little while. But
yeah, Yeah, nothing over £10,
Right.
and that's it. And that was it. Yeah. So that happened, and then as I was kind of getting like the next day, news burst. Next day, work with boss fight. Next day after that, more news burst. I'm like, I'm not going to let this defeat me.
Right.
And just kept churning them out. And then we just had it's just been the most ridiculous like couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Of leaks, news, reveals, and then the stream. I mean,
I have a take. I believe that you had warning signs that your appendix just wasn't, the healthiest organ on the block months ago, and somehow your appendix knew what kind of week this was going to be and said, "I'm out. I'm getting out. I got to get out of here before this week happens because."
I need to check those news bursts. I need to check the Patreon. I need to know what's going on.
He's just like, I just want to.
I
just want to sleep.
Let's dive behind the velvet curtain for a second, Paul. Now you're a patron of the Full Force, as I am a patron of Plastic Battle. So we've basically wiped each other's, goodwill out.
Each other out.
We've cancelled each other's goodwill out. But having said that, it does give me some great insight into how you operate with the behind the scenes stuff, and I love those videos. Like the more in-depth stuff that you give the patrons, I love that. And vice versa, you get some pretty cool intel on the Full Force. Now we had the day before the burst, the event, we had the information, we had the wave information, we had images, we had all sorts, and that was one of those things that we kind of put out there, but there was a few things that we didn't have. There was a lot of art that we didn't have in hand, and there was a reveal that this is going to bug me for the rest of my life, because I have, again, the information was at hand. I just didn't decipher it correctly. So that should give you an idea as to how that one slipped by.
Okay.
But yeah.
So we knew something was going to happen this week, right? And then. And then they're gonna okay, fan first. This is the first GI Joe fan first Friday, and we're gonna have reveals. And we're like, it's probably gonna be some classified stuff. It's got to be. Maybe it could be the retro line, which it didn't end up being, but that's fine. But
we'll get to that though, because there's some really interesting stuff from the stream about that.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so was it? Well, it literally was hours. It was the night before. It was Thursday night.
Well, the patron video went up about lunchtime.
Okay,
but
right.
I got the information probably about, I want to say about 10 a.m. The day prior. So it was you can imagine my, obviously I was never going to go online and be like, look at all this cool stuff. I was never going to do that, because that's, there's issues there. So instead we did a special patron kind of info kind of burst to explain what was happening. And obviously it's a much smaller community. And then obviously that evening, what happens? Some bright spark.
Right. So we had
and leaks it anyway.
Right, exactly. So for those of you who don't know, which I don't think any of you don't, but I'll put this up. So basically what we got in the wave were we got Cobra Commander, right? Which we kind of knew would be coming Friday, especially after the
they gave us some heads ups as well, didn't they, on that one?
Yeah, after that network debacle, they whether they planned on releasing him or not on Friday, they had to put him up, and we also got the light blue version too. Which was amazing.
Oh my god!
I don't know if I put the image in for him.
I've got to say, that was the first surprise, happy reveal aspect, I thought, for me personally, because the whole time I'm thinking, everyone's saying it's pre-production. I never at any point thought it was a pre-production figure, because it was so far along. It looked like a complete figure package, etc., etc. It was too far along in the game to be something that was just a pre-production thing they threw at them early doors.
Right.
What it turned out to be was that they were intending to release this deco as an exclusive down the pike. Mm-hmm. Now, they made an error in what they gave the network in the first instance, and that's what led to the confusion, the issues, etc., etc. So network ended up with the dark blue commander, They revealed the Dark Blue Commander on the stream, but then they also said, "Hey, guess what we're going to do? We're going to just throw this one out here as well."
Right, which
So that
was
was
an awesome
sweet.
move.
Yeah.
I saw people kind of complaining about how, the network thing happened and Hasbro was doing this anyway. But they didn't do the light blue one anyway. They did it because, from what I understand, because of how bad it went the week before. So
I can also tell you now, again, a little bit of inside info. It was always planned. Both decos were always planned from day one.
Oh, right.
And I mean that
I meant
absolutely genuinely, so that if they're thinking that there was a bait and switch done, or if there was a pivot done, the only pivot that was done was because of the mistake that was made in the first place. That's what I'm getting at, really.
Yeah, I think what I'm getting at, I think, is they didn't plan on releasing both these Cobra Commanders on the same day.
No.
So
correct,
they only did that because of, like, hey, we got to...
Of the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, aside from...
Which is actually quite cool. I actually thought that was a good move.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's a great move. So, and so that we knew that was coming. But what was revealed Friday, which we got the leaks of before, were obviously Gung Ho, Red Ninja Viper, and Prophet Director Destro. So
can I just say I love that name?
I know, and they kept the PVD.
Because I've always hated the fans' nickname of that figure, and so when it was kind of changed, I'm kind of thinking, whether or not it sticks, that is the only name I'm going to refer to him as from now on. So I'm happy that I've got my own, I've got my own name to use for it. So that's.
A lot of times if they do, I can't think of an example that's like this at all, but when there's a name change, it's never as good as the original, whether it's a nickname but this one is better than the other one.
It's so good.
Like,
do you know what?
It's so good.
We'll get to it in a second, but I'm going to say it so we can remind ourselves. But Lenny gave a really funny, there's a funny kind of bio backstory to this character's deco. And it's like, a kind of, because it's like a tongue-in-cheek release. It was originally intended to be an SDCC exclusive. Mm-hmm. They've changed that and put it in the wave, technically, I suppose. But this was always planned as an SDCC exclusive, and that it would have come along with this information of him robbing a casino, which I just thought was such a hilarious story. And I was like, that's brilliant. So he's blending into a casino as they're robbing it and everything, and. Amazing. There's more to it, but obviously I guess we'll see that down the line again with maybe on the website, possibly.
Awesome. That's awesome. So out of these three, people have been picking their favorites, but obviously Prophet Director is my favorite, but the other two are right there with him. Like the Gung Ho is amazing. Fantastic. I mean, yes, he doesn't have the light blue. I'm a big fan of that light blue. But it doesn't diminish the figure to me at all. And I did see some complaints about the tattoo, but there's a reason for that, right? There's licensing, and that didn't exist in the 80s. Hasbro used it in the 80s, and they didn't have IP lawyers working for the Marines licensing out the Marine logo.
We were talking about we did the live stream that followed the live stream kind of thing, which was I was really surprised at how much fun that was, and everyone was kind of chucking comments our way. It was great. It was one of those kind of immersive online experiences you're just not expecting, because you're just so excited that everything's going on. In any case, enough of that plug. That video is up on our YouTube channel though. But we, as it kind of, as we came online and talked about this stuff, we were talking about the fact that yes, that logo is a licensing issue. Hasbro can't use it. The same kind of thing happened with FunPub when they couldn't use SAS for the Action Force figures. I think Big Ben was in Special Action Force, and they were all in a Special Action Force rather than SAS. And the reason is because obviously licensing, and we mentioned about SAS IP lawyers, and I said, doesn't that sound like the most dangerous human being on the planet? An SAS IP lawyer. And it just made me laugh quite considerably.
It's a job that probably doesn't get you a lot of friends.
No, it's niche. Yeah, absolutely niche. But no, this Gung Ho is by far and away a beautiful Pursuit of Cobra in 6-inch style upgrade, in
Yes.
my opinion.
Yeah, it does feel
He
that way.
is. I mean, when you take the hat off and he's got the little
I
mohawk. I mean, that
know.
is such. That is chef's kiss to
It's
me.
so great.
Like, people are complaining that he's got hair. I'm like,
What?
yeah, but
Listen,
that's really good. People can grow hair, guys. Do you know what I
people,
mean?
they
Like,
will complain about anything. I mean, I swear to God, you could put out the perfect figure and some guy is going to complain about it. It's usually somebody
it's true. I
had
mean,
either
yeah.
like way too serious about this stuff on the one hand, or some fan that's like paying attention 10% of the time. But they'll jump on to complain about something because somewhere in the 90% that they weren't paying attention, lots of stuff happened they're not even aware about. So
Yeah.
it's whatever. I mean, the hat comes off. That's amazing. You know, I saw someone complain that it's the wrong insignia on the hat. Like, who cares? Like, what the? I just don't. I could care less. I think it's awesome. So
I think that gung ho. He's got real Space Marine vibes. There's like a real Aliens vibe to him. I think. I really love that. And I love like the fact that they've given him in like that cylindrical barreled kind of laser gun thing that looks very like, it's kind of like almost an homage to like the hardball gun in the line, that kind of, the one that Thingy uses in Predator when he says, "You got time to duck?" And yeah, like, why can't I remember Poncho's name? That was weird. Poncho, when he fires it up into the nest and takes it out. In any case, I'm getting completely sidetracked here. Beautiful figure, love it, and I actually really dig the deco because there's a slight camo on his pants.
Yes, I was gonna get to that.
Love it.
Yeah, I love the
Sorry,
slight.
go for it, man.
No, I love the slight camo, and that gives me hope that maybe they do a Recondo and maybe he's got camo on his pants, but we'll have to wait and see.
Someone did say he looks he's like an amalgamation of the Pursuit of Cobra Recondo and the 50th Gung Ho. It's like they've merged together and fused and created this 6-inch beauty we see before us.
I was never a fan of the Pursuit of Cobra Recondo, maybe just because the art made him look like Gung Ho to me.
Oh, it was Gung Ho.
And I was
think,
that's not Recondo. Where's his handlebar mustache? Where's his, like, I don't know. He's just got a look. You know what I mean? He's just got a different.
He's got
look.
more hair.
Yeah, he has.
I'm
way
just moaning.
More hair.
I'm ironically having a go at the fact he didn't have hair.
Yeah.
Just as people are having a go. Anyway, I would also like to point out that you are more than like entitled to your opinion. If you don't like something, you don't like something. Right. It's fair enough. But like, it's funny how I feel like there's always like a like what's it like you could see a trend in like a line graph of people that are hardcore 3 3/4 fans and the hate that's running parallel. Sure. Like I feel like I just feel like that's the kind of a big issue here. But I have to say I've seen more positive than I have a negative so far.
Same, yeah, and I think a lot of people who weren't fans initially when this line was announced and the first figures were revealed are starting to come around a little bit too, which is nice to see. So, and then we got so let's talk about Red Ninja Viper quickly. The first troop builder.
Cute.
And I super dig this figure because it's something new, but it's so cool looking. And it's kind of like you took a Red Ninja and a Night Creeper and you mashed them together and then threw in some new stuff to me. And I just love how it looks.
Absolutely. Sorry, White says my biggest hate for this line is that he can't make enough money to have 3 of each. That's genius, by the way. Like I'll have to say, like the Red Ninja isn't, like, a lot of people were saying like, where's the Viper, where's the Cobra Trooper, yada yada yada, and I'm thinking, that like the Snake Eyes movie is right around the corner,
right?
That like they're gonna have bodies for they've got the Snake Eyes. I mean, this is like a lot of Snake Eyes tooling is on this figure, the legs, the torso, right. I'm not sure about the arms, but like there's a lot going on that is Snake Eyes figure on this actual figure. But all the secondaries, the fact he can hold all his weapons on that amazing, like, it's like a backpack and then a belt secondary, like thirdery. He's got a secondary and a thirdery, as I like to call it. It's insane that all of those weapons that came with that deluxe Snake Eyes now come with this and fit on that figure. It's brilliant.
It's awesome. And, I didn't put a picture of it in here, but if you guys check out, Hasbro Pulse or wherever else there's images of these figures, or Full Force, right? Yeah, those guys. I don't really watch that very often, but
yeah, they're douchebags.
But
that one guy is anyway.
I don't know. He's from like Australia or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like New Zealander, I think. Yeah, weird.
To see these ninjas like in numbers together, they look amazing. Like a true, like awesome troop builder is when you put them in a group and they look even better as a group. And
I agree with you. I agree. This is definitely stronger in numbers, but dead eyes, like the zombie eyes going on, kind of make you feel like there's a story behind it, like some sort of mystical, or some sort of like maybe like Cobra kind of, experimentation going on or something. Maybe they're undead. Because there's another thing. Did you notice that Storm Shadow is described as let me get this straight, the only living member of the Arashikage left, or something along those lines? The only living member of the Arashikage left. That's what he'd said as a quote, I believe, which makes me think that the Red Ninja are Arashikage, but they're like undead. So I'm thinking that how cool is that as a concept, just like as a fun thing that they've included into this line. I just think that's really freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really fun that they're like building in some new lore here, so that it's got like a whole new kind of like a storyline happening. Jason Royalty says he ordered 10. He's been thirsty for an army builder and he loves the design. I got 3, and I wish I got more because they're sold out.
I just got the 2 because I'm like white. I'm like, I can't afford to get 3 of each, man. That's ridiculous. I heard complaints about no Zartan hand yet, but I bet that buck is the same as the Ninja Storm Shadow one, right? I can also say that Zartan is close. Cool. Zartan is because we saw the target listings crop up recently, so we know that it's either going to be early next year,
right,
or they're going to reveal it tomorrow.
Yeah, it was Zartan, Major Blood was on that list, right?
Flint, Lady J, Barbecue.
Oh my God, I can't even. When Barbecue comes out, I'm gonna flip. It's just gonna be amazing.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
So good.
One more thing I'd like to say about the Red Ninja. I love the secondary design. I think it makes it a completely different figure. I love the mask. I think it works really well on this particular figure. And I think when we see it on Storm Shadow in his original version, because we've seen the artwork for that Storm Shadow, I think it may look better in the hand, honestly.
Sure.
But my goodness, this figure, I love it. And Furio Tedeschi's art. I know we'll talk about that later as well. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. Well, we did get Storm Shadow. Surprisingly,
yes,
we got Storm Shadow.
Yes,
on Friday as well. We got the Arctic Mission Storm Shadow, which means, Chris, that we're not getting any more Storm Shadows. This is the only one we're going to get. We know that this is it. No original Storm Shadow. Everybody who's freaking out has a reason to freak out. I mean, why would they choose this Storm Shadow? We might only get 2 more figures in this line before they cancel it. So,
I would say there was a hashtag sarcasm there. I would say, like, even if this was the only Storm Shadow we ever got, I'd be like happy. And I'm a V2 guy, not a V3. Like the V3, like, the Ninja Force figure is very cool deco wise, and I think I prefer the modern era version where it was like that basic wave where they kind of did a deco on the Storm Shadow and then they did a Jinsu kind of homage deco on the repack or the running change. So like I'm a fan of this particular deco big time, but like I would have loved to have seen digital camo Storm Shadow first out the gate, and just because we haven't, I'm not like, no, that's the wrong one to bring out. I'm like, that is cool, I love it, I can't wait to have it. I think it's beautiful.
It is. What's really cool about it to me is it was completely unexpected. And even if we knew there was a Storm Shadow coming, the fact that it was this Storm Shadow, I don't think anyone would have guessed at all.
Well, I was privy to information that we were getting an exclusive, Amazon exclusive. I knew it was Amazon exclusive. I knew it was Storm Shadow, and it just had the number 2 next to it. So like for me, I was just thinking a little bit further in the future, and probably version 2. That was in my head. And then I was thinking they were bringing like all of the Storm Shadows and so on and so forth with the movie line, which again, we don't really know where that is at the moment because of COVID-19. So just to kind of give you a heads up, it was kind of like known, but this was an absolute shock. When they showed this on screen, everyone, we were all watching it live, myself, Justin and Paddy, and we all screamed. Like, I wish I kind of like I wish I kind of put that in the video, because we were like, "Wah!"
Yeah, I know.
And we were both like, it was unreal. And I have to say, I just think that it's beautiful. It's a beautiful figure. The product shots were gorgeous in the kind of night sky on the climbing mountains and stuff. Oh,
yeah, and
stunning.
I thought I put them in here, but I didn't. So my bad, everybody. But you can check them out on Full Force or Hasbro Pulse. So I
think they'd prefer Full Force.
I would go there for all of my news. In fact, guys, honestly though, like, to be real, it's pretty awesome being a patron of the Full Force, because I find out about this stuff way ahead of time, and and I don't know, it's just so, it's been awesome. So you probably update your Patreon more than anyone that I have other patrons or Patreons that I'm a part of. You're definitely the most.
That feeling you get when you've got a Patreon, right? And everyone always used to say to me, you don't have to like constantly be putting stuff up there for people, because like the people that like pay and put that money up for you are doing it because they want you to, they're showing it's like a kind gesture type thing. And I kind of like thought, yeah, but especially like, the high end levels, I was thinking, you know what, like we really need to do something for them. And we were getting all this like really cool intel in, and I just thought, we can do this in a way that isn't like, really kind of like ruining things for people, but we can kind of give out these little bits of nuggets of info that we know are, solid bits of intel. Because I mean, so far, I think everything we've discussed that isn't necessarily movie related, based on the fact that the movie's been pushed back, has kind of come to fruition, which is another thing that like I've been really happy to see that this stuff's come out, and I'm like, oh, thank God, because like we were right about that, thank goodness.
Right.
But yeah, in any case, I really appreciate all our patrons, yourself included, mate, and I just want to keep giving you guys stuff. So we do outtakes, we do other bits and pieces, music as well, like the music that's in the shows. Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. I put that out as well.
Yeah, I love that.
But anyway, yeah, enough of that. I love your Patreon. Even though you don't put much on there that often, I love the stuff you put on there.
I'm trying to do like a few times a month, but really I'm trying like quality, like right now. Like when I do the behind the scenes videos, like I try to make them like a little production, but I'm working on it. I've got like 3 different things in the works right now. So something should go up there in the next couple days before the end of the month. So that'll be cool.
I love it. Right.
Dave says I should, when Flint and Lady J come out, I should redo the comic cover where Lady J clocks Flint in the face. I'd love to do that. I'd also love to do one where I think it's Lady J, if they do a Zorana one where they're like fighting.
Oh, the fight. Cobra Island. Yeah, the Cobra Civil War.
Yeah, that would be great.
Totally.
White Vegeta says, again, looking at Arctic Storm Shadow, I could see him recolored as Zartan with a different head under the hood and with body armor, shoulder pads and stuff. That?
I think Zartan's getting new stuff, honestly. I think he's going to be something that we're going to be very surprised at.
Man, I'm so excited for Zartan. If they do something crazy, like, I don't expect it. I don't expect him to change color. I don't expect him to come with a swamp skier, right? But if he changed color, I'm going to lose it. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna lose it.
Mate, I would quit life, because it's not getting any better than that, is it? A 6-inch color change Zartan would be absolutely mind-blowing.
And honestly, like, I don't expect it, because I don't know what kind of chemicals you have to make into plastic and what kind of regulations exist now. Who knows?
This is not official info. This is me speculating like crazy, but I could see them doing a Zartan exclusive where he was a different color, like he was like that kind of purple color when he goes like when the sun hits him and he's like, like he's a vampire or
you know how
something.
like certain figures come with the little what do you call them? I forget the term. The little blasts coming out of the gun. What are those called? Muzzle flashes.
Oh,
Or
right,
they come with
yes.
fire, right? Translucent plastic. What if he came with like thin, translucent sun rays, and you could make him like
Nice,
do that
nice.
thing?
Yeah, yeah.
So that'd be hilarious.
You're just thinking purely to make your life easier when it comes to toy photography, aren't
That's
you?
exactly. I'm selfish, and that's all I care about. There's some good comments going on here.
Amazing. Yes,
Brian
loads.
Wilkins, Special Mission Force on Instagram and Twitter. Everyone, another
Hey,
amazing
B Ryan.
toy photographer. He
Good man,
says,
good
"To
man.
me, nothing will ever compare to O-ring 3 3/4 inch in my heart, but so far, I'm really digging the 6 inch line. That's me. That's exactly me. I
Same.
3 3/4 inch O-ring figures are my heart and soul, right? But these are they're their own thing, and they can exist in my world anyway. They can exist together. I can decide
Yep.
one day to do the O-ring stuff and shoot that, and the next day I want to do some classified line and shoot that, and that gives me a little variety in the way I do my toy photography, a little variety in the way I set up my displays just for display, and I love that.
I think there's a difficulty from Hasbro's point of view here, where if they're doing a brand new line and they're putting so much into a 6 inch line, that's been, a good percentage of the fandom has been calling for it, even if it's people that have been calling for it just because everyone else is calling for
Right.
it, or they are actually genuinely 6 inch fans, of Marvel Legends, Black Series, etc., etc. This has been one of those things where Hasbro have got to go, right, we have to put all our eggs in one basket here, right? So we have to say that 6 inch is going to get a lot of care and attention. Some things have to be sacrificed, we can more or less assume that the retro line now is 3 3/4 because it's, we've seen that on the bill of lading as the retro line came into Canada and the US shortly afterwards. So we know officially, and people are saying that it was like possibly samples before they go back to the factory to get done again. That was another thing because it was like 500 pieces. So that's another little rumor that's floating around. Either way, they're probably on the way. So Hasbro are looking at this probably going, okay, we've got 3 3/4 retro, which hopefully will satiate an element of people that maybe want to fill out some of their vintage stuff where they don't have it and it's too expensive to
Go
get
to eBay
now.
and spend 50, $60 on a figure, and you can get them for 12, brand new in the store.
Exactly. Exactly. Or it could be like, we want people to build their collections from scratch with this 3 3/4 line. Whatever it may be, that's the area. I think they're focusing that in one place. The 6 inch is another place where they're focusing a lot of attention. And it's great that we're getting the care and we're seeing that care coming through in these figures. So like something kind of has to give at that point. Do you honestly think a company can sustainably create that many scales, including movie product and kids role play and all that stuff? I don't really remember many scales having so much going on unless they're an IP like Star Wars, where you've got vintage, retro, vintage collection, retro, Black Series. That's probably one of the only ones that can do it like that. Even Marvel Legends or the Marvel had to stop doing infinites and the 3 3/4 stuff. So occasionally we'll get like the odd Marvel 3 3/4 figure now, but their focus is on 6 inch because I suppose that's where the fandom went in the end, But anyway, side note, I'm sorry to keep talking, Paul. I keep
No,
doing
it's fine. I mean, what's great about these is they work in toy photographers or just people who collect this scale. You can buy some Joes and work them in with your Legends and work them in with your Black Series and do whatever you want because they're all the same scale. So I think that's pretty cool. And the builds are similar. And I think that's has huge legs for this line, is being compatible with other lines, and also that's kind of where the collector community is nowadays. But Hasbro owns G.I. Joe outright, so they don't have to pay license fees for Star Wars or pay license fees for Marvel Legends, right? So they can maybe do more concurrently and just kind of take in all the money from it. So
Exactly, yeah. There's another thing as well I will add. We've seen listings for core figure assortments and as in CORE and core vehicle assortments, which lends itself to another scale, possibly the kids' basic stuff. So I'm not saying that's going to, that's not filling the gap for a 4-inch modern collector at all. But, if they're doing that as well, I don't know what's left, honestly. We'll see anyway as it goes. But I'm just digging what we've seen so far, man. I'm loving the future of the brand because it feels like there's a lot of eyes on it. There's a lot of excitement on it. There's a lot of everything going on around this brand, and that's kind of what we want. We want it to be in the same league as a Transformers, that first movie that came out with the Michael Bay movie, where all of a sudden it got us masterpiece Transformers and loads of other
different kind of Transformer you can think of, and they're still doing more. Like they just released those 6-inch non-transforming ones. I was too busy trying to do the Joe stuff. I got Optimus, but I couldn't get Soundwave for Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron sold out. Yeah, they sold out really fast.
So at least I got Optimus coming, but I want to shoot some of those. It's just so much fun. So, all right, real quick. Classic action figures. Any take on what's going to be the first vehicle? I feel like it's going to be a motorcycle with Snake Eyes, probably a movie one.
Are we talking classified or are we talking retro?
I think he's talking classified here.
Yeah. Again, that's a good educated guess there, Paul, because we have had a listing for Snake Eyes and Bike. And that was at like $39.99, so that's clearly 6-inch. It's not. There's no way that's a small vehicle.
You on your post game video after the Fan First Friday yesterday, I think it was you who said, "Can you imagine? Maybe it was a ferret."
Yes, Serpentor.
Well, that. Oh my God, there's two.
The ferret.
There's
yes,
a ferret with Tomax and Zaymot, which would have been incredible, and then also obvious Serpentor with Air Chariot. That when you said that, I was like, if they do a Serpentor, I'd be almost surprised by the time they do him if he wouldn't come with the Air Chariot, because by that time they will have done probably a couple small vehicles.
Oh, I could seriously see that as an SDCC exclusive. Why not? And also another thing. Remember how the Destro figure is almost identical to that Prime 1 statue.
Right.
Like if you hold the Destro, classified Destro and the Prime 1 statue, they're very, very similar kind of like detailing and everything, the padded interior. Now, if you take that information right there and you apply it to the Prime 1 statue Serpentor, which is probably the greatest Serpentor thing that exists on planet Earth, then that's going to make one hell of a classified figure.
It's so good, it makes me almost want to root for Serpentor. Almost. So, real quick, let's see. Mohawk Zartan SDCC exclusive. That would be...
beautiful,
God.
mate.
Oh, my God.
Dave, you are speaking my language. Okay,
so... still a little more classified thing here, and what I wanted to talk about specifically, and we don't have time to go through all the art. I just wanted to call out.
Yes, we do.
I want to call out one specific. First of all, one specific guy. So we did a lot of talking about Storm Shadow, but what I really want to talk about is this guy. Profit Director Destro. Now, first of all,
you have to think about that before you say it each time.
Yeah, I know. I almost said the other name. I have this purple night sky with trees background, and I put these 3 images up on top of that, and it just fits. This Miami Vice vibe just fits. Oh. And
can I say I want to say this before anyone else says it, because I've said it on a few videos now. I'm nicknaming this the Miami Grenadiers because. Look at that. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's so amazing. And, I'll be honest, I was never, a huge fan of this, only because he was done in that Destro version 3 sculpt or something. And I always hated that sculpt. Yeah. But I didn't hate, the idea of it. I just didn't like the only real iteration he was. I know they made him in the modern era, right, for the club or something, but... Yeah,
it was a SDCC exclusive, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't have that.
It was an exclusive.
Yeah, either.
Might have been a joke on exclusive.
But this one, with that cape, and it's done with that that technology, like that
Insane.
facial technology thing to get the leopard print.
Photo-realistic.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is so good. That's
Crazy.
so good. And that head sculpt looks amazing with the gold head. And I know we've already gotten 2 Destros. I wouldn't be surprised down the road if we get the regular version 2 Destro gold head at some point.
Of course, yeah.
Especially if they, like, in wave, I don't know, whatever wave it's going to be, they do him and they do
17.
Iron Grenadiers too. That would be insane. But getting this peak of him with a gold head is awesome. And sunglasses, the shades. First of all, how do you feel about the shades? And second of all, we'll get into the shades a little bit in a minute. But what do you think about the shades?
I love the shades. They're amazing. It's the cutest little accessory and I like that they've kind of gone really just like ridiculous, and you've got loads of silly things in there. And and the deco is over the top, like, and I just
way he holds just that like trigger hand with the finger out, and you put the sunglasses in them, and it looks like that's how you would hold sunglasses with your hand. Exactly. It just fits perfect. Exactly. And speaking of accessories, how about the burning cash?
Oh, best. That's the best accessory ever created for any figure. And I'm a Lightfoot fan, so I like my little drones with holographic stickers on them. But that's beyond the Thunderdome.
And the Marcellus Wallace briefcase with the money in it.
With the Pulp Fiction the soul inside it.
I have an idea. I'm going to put it out here right now. I'm claiming copyright on this idea for toy photography. Going to put an LED in that case and then have the back of it to the camera and have the glow coming out and hitting the face of whoever's looking in, like the Marcellus Wallace case. Doing it. So
do it now. What are you waiting for? Do it. Sorry. It's amazing.
They were skinned alive.
It's incredible.
All right, so So first of all, this Destro is amazing, but
that's Harper's unit. Sorry, carry on.
They okay, so we've got this. All right, so I'm gonna close these images down, and I want to talk about the box art. Okay, so the box art is insane, right? Super stylized, and it just got that Miami Vice. It's got the colors and it's got the gold Joe logo. It's got like just this box, the purple and the blue and the magentas and the gold. Just awesome. This art was done by James White, otherwise known as Signal Noise. This is like full-on art with the sunglasses here that he has done. And this is what he had showed me months ago when we were talking about this. And he told me, like, hey, I'm going to do Destro, and like I'm super excited. And he asked me to send him a list of guys, and he picked Destro because it's his favorite. And he came back with me on Twitter DM, and he was like, they assigned me this weird one. He's like, I've never seen this before. And it was this Destro. And I was like, oh my God. And I filled him in on the whole background, and he was super psyched. And the reason he has sunglasses is because James put it in the artwork.
Amazing.
So thank James for that.
I mean, what I love about that, not just the art style he's gone with is very animated. It's like the kind of like you want to see it like Transformers animated. Right. In actual fact, there's another image of Hubcap going around Twitter, and I'll probably post like a Who Wore It Better, that looks very similar to what Destro looks like and is doing. And obviously Hubcap has got like the similar colors scheme as well. And what I love about the fact is that in animation you can have a silly character who's got a metal head wearing shades. Like you don't think for a sec, you don't make the assumption that hang on, that's the most impractical thing ever, that wouldn't work. And yet the figure still also carries it off. Like you can put the shades on and you're not thinking that doesn't make any sense. Right. They shouldn't work. It just works, and I don't know why.
It's just.
And we've got James White to thank for it.
It's just so much fun. It's just fun. And I've heard people like, why are they wasting a slot on this character? I'm like, a slot? What? I don't recall getting a limited number of characters. I didn't realize we were only going to get 20. We're not. There's no slots here. This isn't like...
it's a rather greedy premonition to think that every figure that comes out is one that you want. Right. And then as soon as you've got your 5 figures, you bow out and let everyone else enjoy it. I mean, that is a weird entitled stance. I would suggest that you just go, this is how it is, and this if it's successful, it keeps going. I'm not saying you need to buy it. I'm not saying you need to buy it to support the brand. I'm saying that many people will buy this, so don't worry about it. You're covered. You're covered for when you want your figure out.
I've seen so many guys on Instagram who don't collect Joes, probably may not collect this line, but are buying this figure, want this figure.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, that's good for the brand. Sell product. Sell product, make money, then you can make more stuff. So for us to buy. So that's the cycle of toy life right there. So James did this art, and he's incredible. He's on Instagram, he's on Twitter, he's on he's on YouTube. Check it out. It's all this 80s vibe stuff. He's done everything from like movie posters to he's got a zine that he does, which I actually have right here. Just awesome stuff. And he does like a lot of, like, his illustrations all start by hand. He hand draws them, inks them, and then takes them to.
Did he do Gunship's album cover?
Yep. He's done a bunch of album covers.
Oh, I'm going to need to speak to this guy. Seriously, I love Gunship.
I'm going to have him on Thursday Night Battles this coming Thursday, unless something changes. It'll be at 7 because he's in the UK now. That's still going to be midnight for him. But he's at least right now the plan is he'll come on and we'll talk a little bit. This is his one of his zines.
Amazing.
That I've got. This is issue 2. I think he's working on issue 3 right now. He had a little Inktober thing he did in here. All the drawings he did for Inktober. He added that in. It's a separate little book. But yeah, check him out. I've been friends with him for a long time. It's how I know Sean, Word Burglar. As I know him because James said we should be friends. Pretty much, you guys should be friends.
Yeah, and he did Replicable Skills as well, didn't he? The album cover.
Yeah, he's done that, and he did some other art for Word Burglar even before that.
Amazing.
So, and then Dave Cabal says, what did he say? He said, I gotta find the comment. Something about what music would you put to Prophet Director Destro? Like, what kind of music? I was Gunship.
100% new wave.
And if you want to go old,
like literally retro wave is what I put.
Right, synth wave, retro wave, like, or if you want to go like old school original, you could do Jan Hammer, who did the soundtrack to Miami Vice. You could do that. So
absolutely.
So so that's like. Anything else you want to talk about on Classified before we wrap that?
In terms of Classified, no, I think we've covered most of that. Other than, like, I'm just going to say it now, I love this line. Yeah. I'm so absolutely stoked that this has happened. Obviously, yesterday was so intense because it was like trying to keep, okay, so it's my own fault for wanting to be the news of G.I. Joe and Action Force and so on and so forth. So, like, trying to keep up with a day like that it was yesterday is really difficult. And I wanted to kind of make sure I saw all the comments and saw, like, what was going on. I think we were in, like, the tens of thousands in terms of, like, interactions yesterday. It was unreal. Like, people commenting on all the posts that were going out, the stream and everything, and then, like, after that and having to edit stuff for it to go out that night. I was up to like 3, so obviously then up again early this morning, so I'm just absolutely out of it, but wouldn't have it any other way because I feel like we needed that. The G.I. Joe brand needed yesterday. Mm-hmm. It might be hyperbole on my part, and it might be sleep deprivation.
Could be the drugs, could be the missing organ.
It could be. I just feel like it needed that, and I, like, a lot of people I think were buzzing because, yes, we'd had Gung Ho, Red Ninja, Prophet Director Destro, and Cobra Commander Dark Blue. They'd not been spoiled. They'd been leading up to that Friday, and they'd been leading up to Cobra Commander, and they'd said it's going to be coming out on Pulse at this time, so don't worry. So we knew that was happening. Then we got the 3 leaks, shall we say. But then the fact that they kept the light blue Cobra Commander as a surprise for everybody and then released it, allowing us to just go, boom. And I know some people in the UK were complaining because and elsewhere because it was a Pulse exclusive.
I understand that because that would be frustrating, right?
that is sucky, but I believe it is getting out there in some way, shape, or form eventually.
Good.
But the thing is, it's like really, it's difficult to kind of work this out with Hasbro because they tend to keep a lot of things to their, close to their chest. Obviously, that's not surprising. But then we had all those, and the fact that they then pulled that Storm Shadow out of nowhere, just like magically pulled that out of his butthole and was like, there you go, guys. And Lenny, I love Lenny. Like, we had a lovely interview that followed the stream as well.
I listened to that last night.
That I managed to get out.
It was great. Great
so
job
happy.
there.
Yeah, it was great. They were lovely as well. Like Natalie and Ben, who were also on. Ben Montano, who was on the stage at Toy Fair, who did a couple of the things on the stage. He was kind of giving some really insightful information about animals in the classified line.
I know.
They want to do if they're going to do animals, which you kind of get the feeling they are going to do them from what they were saying.
Right.
They're going to be super highly articulated heroes of their own right. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, they're not going to be slabs of plastic. They're going to be articulated, awesome animal companions. And he even mentioned Shipwreck when he was talking about that. And I'm like, oh my God, if you do Shipwreck and Polly, I'm going to lose it. You have to. I mean, he to me, he is the Sunbow series. When I think of one guy in the Sunbow series, he was like the number one guy in almost every episode. So
I would love for them to do like a series at some point down the road of like Sunbow inspired figures.
I know,
where it is literally just absolute perfection.
I know,
like the Masters of the Universe
Filmation series
kind of originals jobbies.
Right. Yeah, Dave says, he said, I keep losing the comments. Something about, White Vegeta, my bad. White Vegeta says he was so glad to hear on the stream for Fan First Friday that other classic designs are an option. And that kind of falls into that Sunbow. Like, if this line is going to go, they could do real classic ARH, like, figure accurate to the O-ring figures. They could do the Sunbow accurate stuff. They could do both. Like, who knows? Like, it's limitless, the possibilities. And what I really want is I want a Shipwreck doll with a pull string on the back. So you pull the string and he says all these snide comments in that voice from Sunbow.
What in the bloomin' blue blazes? Yeah,
hey,
I mean, he'd
doll.
say bloody blue blazes. But,
yeah. Oh my God. So I think we talked classified to death. However, I do want to say personally, again, selfishly, these figures are so photogenic that it makes it so much fun to put these into situations and like work different angles around the figure and see like what kind of shots I can get. I've started doing some macro shots of just the faces and like the detail in the faces are incredible. I love O-ring stuff.
Your shot today, mate, was incredible.
Oh, you mean
the comic cover?
This one? So
ping
segue. So this is a shot that I posted today, which has gone berserk on social media. I've never had so many notifications on my phone in my life. It's still happening. Every time I look down, it's like I don't know how many Instagram followers I got today, but it's
word.
What's that?
I was going to say, no word of a lie. Yesterday, every 2 minutes, I put my phone down. When I look back, 40, 50, 60 notifications. Check them all, wipe them off, because I'm OCD. I can't have that little red thing on there. And then, 2 minutes later, 40, 50, 60. It's like, I've never known anything like it. And you got that on one image, so well done.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I know.
That's incredible.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it would do okay. I thought people would like it, but I didn't realize how well it would do. I'm super stoked. Like when these figures were announced, this is one of the first images I had in my head. I'm like, oh man, I've wanted to recreate this image, but I didn't feel like the O-ring ones were giving it the justice I wanted to give it. You know what I mean? Even though I loved the O-ring stuff. So this worked out great. The scale was right for me to do the minefield sign, which I basically took a little wooden pallet that I had from somewhere.
This is insane, guys. This is insane.
So I had this
in
this little wooden pallet that's the wrong scale for O-rings, so it was just sitting around, and it's like a decent scale for 6-inch. And I was looking at it, and I'm like, I need to make a sign. I'm like, oh, this is wood already, but it's like pristine wood from like a hobby shop, from Michael's, right? So I'm like, I need to weather it up. So I got so I've known this for a while, and this gave me the opportunity to do this. I took some white vinegar and some steel wool, and I put them in a jar together, and I let them sit. Now, I did this a long time ago. It was probably sitting for at least a month or two. Kind of dissolved the wool, the steel wool, into nothing, and it changed the liquid into this like greenish, brownish, rust-colored muck. And then basically I broke the little palette apart into pieces, and then I painted them all with this gunk and let it sit and dry, and it created this kind of weathered color to it, which was exactly the point of doing this. And then
unbelievable.
Then I wood glued the panels, the 4 panels you see, back together, and then I glued them to the main frame that was part of the palette, the thicker part.
Yeah.
Glued them together. Once it was all dried and done, I just took a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, and I wrote in the Danger Minefield, and it turned out pretty good, I think. And
it turned out unbelievable, Paul, mate. It is probably like, and someone's just mentioned on there, they didn't realize the one on the left, when they first saw it, wasn't the comic cover. And I have to agree, like I had a double take, and I'm like, hang about, what is this like the original art of without the like the logo and stuff on it? And I'm like, holy shit, he's used the classified figures here. And like, it was legit that kind of 2 or 3 seconds of just like the brain was just like, making you think it's seeing what it wants to see, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. Well,
thanks.
The little mines, like the layers and the way everything's lining up, it's just perfect.
Thanks everybody for the comments and stuff too. People in here have commented on Instagram and stuff, and on Twitter, and I really appreciate it. It kind of makes it worth it, the time I spend doing this stuff, to see that people appreciate it, so that's cool. I really appreciate the kind words, and from you too, Chris, so
whatever.
Pop quiz. Where are those mines from? Anyone?
Is it a close-up of the tripwire mines?
No, it is not. Those are actually like the right scale in the photo.
So 6-inch.
Yeah. Well,
are they from like
they're not 6-inch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I didn't like zoom in on any tripwire mines or anything. Now, I did have to move the mines around a little bit in post, so I'll give a shout out to my girlfriend. First, she said you need to put a little more light on the sign because it was a little too dim before, and I'm like, you're right. And then I had the mines kind of in the wrong spot. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, and she's like, I told you they were in the wrong spot. I'm like, yeah, so I moved them in Photoshop after. But anybody guess? So they are.
What are they then?
They are from the Rage, the Cobra Rage. So they happen to be perfect. I'm like, what? Where am I going to use mines? And I was originally thinking the mines from the bomb disposal, but they were still a little too small. And I was like, oh wait, the Rage, those giant mines that came with the Rage. So so they work out perfect.
Someone's written that. Cavball Customs has written the Rage. I'm not sure if he's written it immediately after you said the Rage 530 times, or if you said it prior to you saying the Rage.
I'll give him credit. I'm giving him credit.
Times. Let's give him credit. Well done, Cavball Customs.
10 points.
You nailed it.
10 points. And then the backdrop, I just happened to have a gradient poster board that I bought 4 backdrops that I had never used. I'm like, wait a minute. This is like a yellow to blue to darker blue transition.
You're kidding me.
You're kidding me. I just had it in the basement. I'm like, oh, here, I could use this. And it was perfect.
You are taking the piss that you just happen to have the same gradient color board that is on that comic cover. Paul, that is not how life operates or works, and you know it.
Maybe it was subconscious. I knew I'd do the shot eventually, and I had to buy that. So
that's brilliant, mate. That is brilliant. It's gorgeous, and you have like your stuff is, I'm going to kiss your ass a lot tonight, but your stuff is exceptional anyway. But this is on some like crazy other level right here.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad it is. Like I'll just put this out there. I'm working on another shot for this whole kind of, I'm going to thank Hasbro too for kind of including me in this like Yojo June that they're doing. They sent me the figures. They told me like, now I'll give you a little insight here. Originally, this was planned to go live on June 7th, I believe, which Larry Hama's 71st birthday, and it was pick a comic book moment and try to recreate it using the classified figures. And this obviously came right to mind because I'm like, you got 2 of the classified figures. It's a great cover. This is one I've always wanted to do. It's perfect. But with
I've got a board with the same background just laying around in the back. Yeah.
But if that week there was a lot going on, like a lot of unrest, and like it was just a bad look that week, so they postponed it.
Of course,
they postponed it, and so they did it for today. But I am working on another shot, which I probably will try to post tomorrow if I can finish it in time, which is way more complicated than this one, and I think I bit off a little more than I can chew. So we'll see if it actually.
I've seen it.
I could actually pull this off. This was an emergency. Like, I wasn't planning on doing this right away. I was doing the other one first, and then I was going to do this one. But the other one was taking me a long time, and I'm like, I won't be able to finish this and have anything for today that I really like. Other than just random shots I've taken outside of the classified figures. I really wanted to do the comic book thing. So I ran outside yesterday with a thunderstorm bearing down on me, set it up. I'm like, I hear the thunder. There's little drops of rain. I'm like, I got to get this shot. I have like maybe an hour max, and I got it done. Thank God. And I retouched this thing and got it ready at like 2-3 a.m. last night. I didn't go to bed till about 3:30. So that's
amazing.
That's the backstory on that one. Yeah. So
I love it. Peeking behind the curtain there.
A little behind the curtain. That a little taste, just a little taste of what you might get on the Plastic Battles Patreon. I'm just saying it's
perfect.
There. It's there if you want to learn.
I will
things.
Also say, I was as a patron of the show, I also recommend it. It's really, really cool. And Thanks. It's not even just like videos and stuff, but things like the Commandalorian that you posted as like a backdrop if you wanted to use it for like, your screensavers and stuff.
Wallpapers.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, I saved like a bunch of different sizes for like standard screens and stuff. And even with this one, I'm going to do it with this one because that is cropped into a square, but it's much wider than that. I mean, there's a lot of negative space on the one side. So I'll make that available on Patreon probably, if not this.
Put a couple of Mambas, a couple of Cobra Mambas in the back.
Couple Mambas. Yeah, so that'll be
That's
available.
Something we didn't mention about the gung-ho art.
Oh,
the gung-ho art on that classified figure is like epic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really got like kind of that Vietnam vibe to it. You know what I mean? It's just a great image. And I will say this about the Classified 2 when we were talking about the art. Originally, I wasn't 100% sold on different artists on every box. However, my marketing brain understood what they were trying to do because I understood looking at the first wave. I'm like, oh, you've got Phil Noto, you've got all these comic book
Thompson, Tedeschi,
illustrators,
Curfew, loads.
Yeah, you have I'm gonna forget his name now. The guy who did the Destro art. He's from Cleveland. I've met him once. He's friends with someone I know. Anyway, all those guys, right, are like either comic book artists or poster artists or something like that. So I'm like, they're doing like this curated gallery of artists, like well-known artists. So I'm like, it'll come into focus the more we see. And that's exactly what's happening. The more we see, the cooler of an idea this is. Because the way this packaging works anyway, it's not like the old school card backs where we have a large area that's flat for artwork, a logo, and then a little bit of type. Now they've got like the warning labels they got to put on the front, and then there's a big window with the figure. So you only have a little area for the art. So I'd rather them do like these different art styles and get these cool looks and like what artist is gonna work on this? Like I'm thinking like who's doing Major Blood? I cannot wait to see Major Blood. I cannot wait to see the Alley Viper one. Like I'm just so excited to see this stuff. So so I think it's a great idea now in retrospect. So
it's great, yeah. Plus it's the whole thing of they were trawling Instagram for like artists that had some a lot of followers and stuff like that as well, because I mean it's genius really. It's like if you're bringing that artist's like group of people
Right,
over,
right.
if you're their audience, then they're literally just like, you know, just growing their audience so fast by just picking all these different artists, these famous, really good. Some of them are JoJo connected already,
Right.
which is even cool. And Mike Thompson's done stuff on like different eras and stuff
The
like. It's
Noto
just
has done the Scarlet stuff.
yes. Furio Tedeschi is doing current Snake Eyes
Right.
concept
Right.
art for the movie. So
Interesting.
and mate,
Very interesting.
he did the Red Ninja. So
I know, man. Who, this is gonna be a crazy year for Joe. And when was the last time we could say that? I don't know. I not as an adult. I don't know.
someone said on this live stream, he said G.I. Joe has saved 2020, and I was kind of like, it kind of has for me, like, because 2020 has been the longest train wreck of a year ever for like social upheaval and just crazy bad things. And this is just a very small microcosm of a very small niche group of people. But let's face it, like I'm taking wins where I can get them, and this classified line for me has been like massive wins.
Yeah, it's if I'm going to be trapped inside and quarantining or social distancing or whatever, I just want to sit in front of a screen and look at all the cool stuff that's being released for G.I. Joe and order it and never have to leave my house and pre-order it and just wait for it to show up. Perfect.
Exactly.
Sit in this room and look at all the new stuff I got, and then I'm like, this is great. I don't need to ever talk to another living human being again. I've got everything I need. To be honest, these hunks of plastic are a lot more interesting than a lot of people out there on the streets. I'd rather talk to these guys. So anyway.
So true. So true.
So, all right. So I got a little new, our last little segment is the traditional, we can't do one of these without a mail call, right? So I made this little mail call graphic. Ba-doom.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I want to see this.
It's just like a little reel. I'll probably redo it, make a better one, but that's what I got. It's now in the empty.
Just have
mail call. I know I want that, but I looked for that image and I couldn't find it online, and I have it, but I didn't have time to scan it. So
I haven't sent it to you yet. That's why, because I told you I was going to do that last time and didn't send it to you.
But I made this like 80s neon version to match the Nerdout for the bottom left corner where there was nothing before on the stream. I know you got to wait for it to catch up. Yeah, you got to wait for it to catch up.
Where is it? I want to see it.
There's a delay.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, go for it then.
All right.
You're going first.
I can go first.
Screw the guest is what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Like, screw the guest.
So there's been like some weeks off, and then there was like the thing I did from East Aurora, so I didn't have all the stuff I got in the mail with me last week when I was with Word Burglar. So there's like a pile of things I've gotten in the last few weeks. I'm only going to show like 3 things probably. But
okay, that's cool.
Since we were talking about Destro a lot, I'm going to go with Iron Grenadiers themed thing that I got in the mail. So this may come in a week or two ago, and it's one of it's a sealed vehicle. It's one of the few boxes I didn't own, and whenever I can get a sealed vehicle, I'm going to do it.
Do you want me to guess it?
There's not a lot to guess from the Iron Grenadiers, but go ahead. Let's see if you get it. You get one shot.
Is it Demon?
False. I have a demon.
The spoiler?
False. I have one of those already.
What's left? I've completely forgotten.
It's coming.
Go on. Oh, of course, the AGP.
AGP. So I
love it.
I was like, as a kid, I had this. My brother had it. We each had one, and it wasn't like my favorite thing, But I these weird vehicles have grown on me a lot over the years. I have the convention exclusive one, the translucent plastic one, still in the bag unopened. I really want to put that one together. I want to try that gray canopy on this, because it's gray in the artwork, but it's actually red. But they released the gray canopy on the convention one. And this box is in great shape. There's a couple little dings on it, but other than that,
that's lovely, mate. Lovely.
It's amazing.
Also, you can send off for a Super Trooper, so brilliant.
Already did. I surgically, laparoscopically opened this up and took out the mail away form.
Pulled it out through his belly button.
Yeah. It feels fine. A day later, he's like, I'm not even hurting. If you guys don't know about the Iron Grenadiers AGP, let me just tell you this brief blurb that Hasbro put on the back of the box. It's flying in a low-altitude attack formation. 2 squadrons of Iron Grenadier AGPs launched their air-to-surface missiles at GI Joe armored column. So this isn't even about the vehicle. This is like a scenario. Like, we're just going to tell you a scenario, and you can play that out. You could blow up your silly Battle Force 2000 vehicles with this cool vehicle driven by an ex-Cobra La pilot who didn't make the cut, and they just threw him into Destro's Iron Grenadiers. So if
I always found it interesting that they put the Battle Force 2000 logo on the box as well, like considering it was an IG vehicle and everything.
Well, I think it's because they position Iron Grenadiers as like the rivals to Battle Force 2000, but also possessing those futuristic weapons that Battle Force 2000 also had, like the Demon and the AGP. So it was a little weird. As a kid, I got it. I'm like, oh, these are supposed to like battle head to head. You know, these guys. It's kind of like Python Patrol and Tiger Force are kind of like head to head.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I found out later that the Nullifier was supposed to be a Cobra La figure, and that kind of drew into focus why he had those weird little symbols all over his gear that I couldn't figure out. I'm like, it looks like there's like a language here, but I don't know what that would be. But yeah.
Well, it looks nothing like any other kind of trooper. It certainly doesn't look like an Iron Grenadier trooper. Right. So yeah, it was interesting. Really cool, man. Thanks. Cool. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
First off, it's only a little thing here, this one, but it's what I've been wearing around my neck the whole time. And it is my G.I. Joe G.I. Joe face mask, which I have to give a few shout outs here. So first off, obviously we've got, well, you can let me show you. It's Flint on that side.
Is this from the bed sheets?
Footloose.
The original.
Yes, it is. Sheets. So basically, these were being sold on Roma Collectibles. Shout out to Aaron Dietrich and Mary Mercenary, who put them together. She made them, put like these little, a cute little nose tab in as well, so you can kind of slide in some little metal thingies. In actual fact, there is one in there. It's like a, what do you call it? Pipe cleaners in there at the moment. And you can bend that around your nose. Anyway, really cool. And it's got, obviously, like I said, it's got Flint and Footloose on it. Love it. Shout out, obviously, to my wonderful, beautiful, amazing wife, Kate, who bought it. Like, she noticed it when, like, Aaron posted it on Facebook and saying, hey, we've got these for sale. Kate just ran in there. I want that one. I want that one. So she bought this one for me, and I really appreciate it because it's awesome. It's got Flint on it, who is, like, obviously a big hero from the Action Force universe. So yeah, that's the first one for me, and I just wanted to
that's awesome.
Rock it.
I'm jealous. I love those sheets. I've wanted to get them like sealed, unopened, like because I didn't want to. Like I actually wanted to use them for something, right? And I'm like, I don't want to sleep on sheets that other people have slept on. So if I could find them unopened, and I found them on eBay a few times unopened for $1,000. Buy it now, and I'm like, okay, I don't want them that bad. But yeah.
Yikes. I will also say as well, we've got my mother-in-law, Valley, I'll give a shout out to. She bought me for my birthday 2 Action Force pillows. Same kind of thing, like the square pillows, red backs that have got that split so you can obviously change the interior out. But it's got the bed sheets of the, of that. And it's got like Quick Kick, Dragonfly, Mauler. It's got some crazy good art on there. But anyway, yeah, the same kind of deal. So my house matches with my face right now.
So this is kind of like a lot, right? This next thing I want to talk about here. So the ARAH comic book run, which is topical because we're talking about that.
A real American hero.
There's a group of I have most of the run, right? But I don't have, there's a few in the early hundreds like scattered that I don't have. And then as it gets later, like into the 120s, 130s, 140s, 150s, I don't have hardly any. So I found somebody on, I believe it was one of the Facebook groups, selling a bunch of things, tons of different stuff, Battle Action Force stuff, all this stuff. I know I wanted those, but I'm like, I need to fill the holes in my collection first. So,
yoink.
So so one thing I did get are these 3. Let me put them in the right order. They'll probably be backwards on screen, but these three How to Draw G.I. Joe books. So
They're the right way round, and they look amazing.
so I got these three. So there's the issue. Was this issue 3?
3.
And then issue 2, which is the cover girl and Zartan, and then the first issue here with Blood and Duke and the Sky Striker. So I love to draw, and I'm like, I want to learn how to draw these. So I got these.
Why is Major Blood holding his arm? Is he in pain? Has he been shot?
No, it's a pistol.
Arms?
So you can't tell because the ink is the same color, but he's got a pistol. You see it?
Thank you. It looked like he was doing this.
Maybe he was putting the
great.
mechanical arm on when he was changing arms.
So I think that's what I thought was happening. I thought he was doing something with his fake arm that wasn't a fake arm, but is a fake arm, and then isn't, and then is again.
So those I got, but then I got this huge stack of ones I was missing. Right. So I'll run real through now. This I have a story. It's story time. I need to do a story time. This harkens back to my story times on Instagram days on Thursdays. Okay, so this was killing me that I didn't have this issue. Okay.
How did you not have it? Damn, son.
Well, I originally had it. Okay, all right. Calm down.
Okay, fair enough.
So in my current collection that isn't completely destroyed in a box in my dad's basement, I didn't have this one. This one, this is a PG-13 / rated R possibly story. So this one, in 8th grade, this came out, the end of 8th grade, and we were going to. Did I lose Chris? Did I lose you? Oh, okay.
No, I'm here.
You're dead. You're dead.
I'm listening to your story.
You were so still. I'm like, either he died or this cut out. I don't know what happened.
I was focusing on your story. I'm multitasking.
Is he even blinking?
Carry on.
Like nothing's happening. All right, so
sleep deprivation.
So 8th grade field trip for the end of the year. We went to Montreal for a few days. Montreal, Canada, if you don't know where that is.
Nice.
And 8th grade, we're about to graduate and go to high school. I'm still buying G.I. Joes and reading comics and toys. My friends, however, are starting to get into girls and things, right? So we go down in these cities. Sometimes there's that connect to hotels. There's at the bottom floor or underneath, there's a I don't know, a marketplace, almost like a mall that connects several buildings, and there's smoke shops and there's places to eat. And so there was this little convenience store. And the idea was my friends were going to go in and we're going to get a Penthouse magazine. So they went in.
Good work, lads.
So they get this Penthouse magazine off the rack, and they're trying to convince this French-speaking Montreal native that we're all over 18. Meanwhile, behind my 5 friends who are trying to convince this guy to sell him a porn mag, I'm holding this in my hand. I just want to buy the G.I. Joe comic book if as soon as you guys are done. So they get guy sells them the Penthouse mag. I get this. We go back to the hotel room. They're all gawking over the Penthouse, and I'm alone.
Oh, I'm glad you said gawking. And
they're all oh, look at this, and look at that. And I'm in the corner oh, man, cannot wait to dig into some more MD Bright art in this. I am so stoked. And they're like, Paul, check this out. I'm like, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I'm reading a G.I. Joe comic.
Yeah.
So that's
you wank on what you're wanking on. I'm gonna wank on
I'm gonna wank on some awesome Razorbacks and things probably in this issue. So
obviously my wife only gets one half of this conversation because of the headphones. So she's like, "What are you talking about?" Anyway.
So anyway, this has a sentimental value. So I got this, and then I got a bunch of others, including these weird ones where it's we'll promote Snake Eyes first, and really that, and I
Snake Eyes featuring G.I. Joe.
The Wildman art, which I'm not a fan of, but I got to fill the holes. So I got all these, and in the wash, the crown jewel of this heist is
Oh, the
I did not
finale.
have it. This is in like
Do you want to hear another?
mint
Do you want to hear another
condition.
stupid story?
This is like never been read.
Do you,
Okay,
want,
go ahead.
do you want to hear another stupid story? I hadn't read the final issue of the Marvel run until I was probably in my 20s, I think. And I got there's a bunch of issues. I ended up reading it in the trade, and when I got to that last page, and like when that last issue, even though it's like, I don't know what was wrong. I might have been tired at the time, and I'm also very an emotional person anyway. I was crying at the end. Think like even though I knew that Larry picked up the run and was still going on with Marvel, I was like at the end of it, I'm kind of like in tears. I'm like, what on earth? Like, because it's not even. I mean, it's like Snake Eyes is it's the writing the
I
letter
know,
thing,
and
isn't it? It's like the Snake Eyes
I
letter.
know what the story is. I've never actually read it, so I'm
Mm.
gonna read this like real soon.
Get the trade. Get the trade. Keep it
I
sealed.
know. This thing is actually like,
Don't get your horrible
you
mitts
know
on
how
it.
like there's usually like little creases around the staples, like nothing. Like this thing is
Perfect. Yeah.
perfection. It's the direct edition. I don't know if that makes any difference. It just says direct edition. I don't know how many editions this one had,
That's amazing.
but yeah. So yeah, at the time this came out, I had moved on to like X-Men and things, and I was reading X-Men, probably Young Bloods, all like the Image stuff, Spawn.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
The only reason I got out of this was because first I had to suffer John Stadema, which I was not a fan of, even though it was one of the greatest storylines. I'm like, what happened to anatomy class? So then that went out the window, and then it was right after MD Bright. MD Bright was my favorite at the time. Like I had
Yeah.
collected.
That maskless Snake Eyes, MD
Oh
Bright, is just, where he's got the
yeah,
scars on his face and everything. It's like I'll always remember that as
I
like,
love the way he drew
like a perfect bit of art.
explosions and like the trails off of
Mm.
missiles and things. Like I just love that stuff. And the way he drew that version 3 Snake Eyes with the trench knives, the way he drew him, oh,
Yes.
so good. In
Yes.
Cobra Commander, he had Cobra Commander nailed. Like that spot in Millville where he's got the
Yeah.
microphone and you've got like all the 1,600 different Vipers running around him, and he's like going on a diatribe, and he kicks the dog, and oh, dude, that storyline. So that was like peak. And then like John
Yeah.
Stamos came in, and I was like, oh no, what happened? This, and then Wildman came in, and I'm like, I'm not a fan. And Ninja Force was coming in, and it was Star Brigade. And I was like, you could tell it was just kind of like fizzled out,
I
you know.
yeah, like you can definitely see like a drop in the quality towards the end, but I still like in the same way I like the Deep cartoon. I love seeing the characters. Like they squeeze a lot of characters in. It was happening in the comics. It was like, oh, Cyber Viper all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where'd he come from? And yeah, it was like really just crazy.
Yeah, Dave Cabal said name all the Joes on this cover. I could maybe, but what happens is like Wildman, like he probably, I don't know if it was direction or whatever, but they started to draw these.
Artistic
They started to draw
license.
these guys
Yeah.
as if they were superhero comics, so they weren't wearing clothes anymore. Everything was tights, right? So like Footloose probably is right here. Let's wait. This guy's probably Footloose.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, other way. Other way.
That guy,
There
Footloose.
he is. Yeah.
But it's like a skin tight. Like there's no. They're all wearing spandex, and I'm like, you know. These guys. These are up for debate. It could be Falcon over there and Clutch maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Falcon Clutch, Shipwreck, Quick Kick,
You
Don't
got the.
Know, Rock and Roll, Flint, Lady J,
Yep.
Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Gung Ho, and the top corner, which is
It's Mutt.
hidden,
I think
that
it's Mutt.
is Mutt,
Yeah.
I think.
B-
And
Wait,
then
who
you've
is
got
this?
Pork,
Who's
Stalker, you've got Tommy, aka Storm Shadow.
Who's
That's
this? The blonde guy.
this guy there with
The
the
blonde
helmet.
guy
Blonde
next to
with the
Falcon.
helmet.
Who's the blonde guy next to Falcon?
I don't know.
That-
I don't. Oh, next to
Yeah,
Falcon.
between Gung Ho and
Don't
Falcon,
know.
that one's tough. I'm gonna say it's short fuse.
Don't know.
Snake
Could
Eyes.
be.
That's the X-Files alien version of Snake Eyes.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
the
it.
gray alien.
Hawk and Stalker,
Yeah.
Storm Shadow, Roadblock, Beachhead, Footloose.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know which way I'm
the-
going. Can't
the
figure this out.
Mainframe. Oh yeah, sorry. So Storm Shadow, Roadblock, and then at the bottom you've got Spirit on the right, then Mainframe because it's grey,
yeah.
I guess. I don't know who that is with the blonde
Yeah,
hair.
it's a weird one.
Footloose, and then again could be anyone.
Yeah, those are tough.
I
Those are tough. I think it was Beachhead, once Beachhead maybe. But
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I did say
Oh, you
Beachhead
did.
a while back, but that was the one right onto the left, isn't it? But I don't know who the guy with the shoulder pads and blonde hair is.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Don't
Is
really
it
have
the
a clue who that.
yeah Mirage maybe? Who knows? So
Yeah, I could be actually. That's a good shout. That is a good shout.
all right. So yeah. So what else you got? I know I took up too much time.
Oh yeah, okay. So another again, Kate, love you very much, honey. She was on Etsy the other day, and she was like, "I've got you a present." And then I was, "Oh, thank you very much. That's cute." So like, it should be coming in the next 600 years, known in COVID. And I was like, "Great, awesome." And then she kind of caved and said, "I'm going to tell you what it is." And I got you another one. And in fact, come over here and look at these. They're amazing. And what she was basically doing was she was on this Etsy page called Epic Electric, and they do like some really cute kind of like custom clothing. And she had these amazing hats on show. And the first one that she had that she got me initially was um, this
Oh
brilliant hat
yes, that's
here. Which
awesome.
is, look at
Oh my
that! Look
god,
at that!
I want it. I want it.
Toys R Us kid. So that was the first one
Oh,
she
you gotta
got me.
stack them.
And then she said
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
have to
have
switch
to.
it to
She
portrait
was like,
mode here or
"Oh,
something.
there's another one." She was like, "Oh, check this one out. This is really cool. They've got a kung fu grip one." And I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh,
that's
that's
amazing.
amazing."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll grab that one in green. Yeah,
stack it.
perfect." So that was another one right there. And then she said, "Oh, look, they've got a mask one." And I'm
What?
like, "You are
Come
kidding
on.
me." And I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, look, I'll get you a mask one." I'm like, "What?"
So jealous.
So I'm like, "Okay, this is amazing." So I was like, "Okay, you're the best." And then she said, "Oh, you can get another one for free. What do you want?" So I'm like scrolling through, and I'm like, "Oh my
What?
effing
What?
G's."
Oh my god.
Inhumanoids,
I love that the hat's
inhumanoids,
colors match up to the logos.
evil that lies
Oh my
within.
god.
Yeah, so she got me all these trucker hats, four of them, and now I'm wearing
You
them
have
all,
to
and my Snake Eyes
you have to
hat.
wear them until we finish. You cannot let them fall off.
Okay,
Dude, that's amazing.
okay. I feel like a episode of the Mighty Boosh here, and I've got some sort of weird costume on. Yeah, brilliant, huh? So I think actually that is all. Well, there's one more thing, so carry on. I've got
You got
one
one
more
more
thing
thing?
after
Okay.
this.
All right. So,
Yeah.
so some of you guys, if you belong to like the Facebook Joe groups, I guess you want to call them, you might know Freddie Saucedo. Do you know him?
I know the
Yeah,
name.
Yo
Yeah.
to the Joe. I was looking it up. I couldn't remember his Instagram handle. It's Yo to the Joe. So he put this guy up for sale. I believe I was back in East Aurora. I believe when he put this, and I just happened to. It was probably in the ARAH group, 82 to 94, and I happened to like.
I left a lot of groups. So
Yeah, well, but I haven't bought too much from the groups. I bought those comic books, and then this popped up, and I'm like, you know what? It's completely out of my specific range of collecting. However, this guy is pretty hard to come by, so I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. It's a 94 figure.
have I got
It's a 94 figure.
94?
It's a tough to come by figure, especially like complete, loose complete. He's loose complete. I'll give you one guess.
94.
He was probably short packed, and that's why he's so hard to find.
Was Ice Cream Soldier 94, or was he before that?
He might have been 94, but no, it's not Ice Cream Soldier.
I can see the 94 lineup, but there's so much there. I don't know. Just tell me. Oh, okay,
Maroon
Ozone.
Ozone.
The brown Ozone.
With the helmet.
Brozone.
He's got his goofy little
Amazing.
card here. Got all his gear,
Amazing.
his stand, all that stuff. So, I was like, you know what?
Brilliant.
I feel like I'm gonna add him, and I'm gonna take some cool photos of him. So, I get the box, and he just threw in a random Frag Viper, minty,
Frago.
perfect Frag Viper.
Brilliant.
So that was a nice surprise. What a great guy. And I gotta say, that dude's legit because he sent it, and it probably sent it like 2 days or something. I was still in East Aurora. I hadn't come back yet. He sent me a message. He's like, "Hey man, I just wanted to make sure you got it." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not home, but let me find out." And he asked me again. He's like, I just want to make sure you got it okay. I'm like, okay. So then my girlfriend sent me a picture. I'm like, okay, I got it. And he's like, oh, thanks. And then he fetched the pizza. You open it yet? I'm like, yeah, let me open it. So he's like following up and everything. He's almost more excited than I was.
That's so
And he's
cute.
like, I can't wait to see you take some photos of him. And I'm like, yeah, man. So I'm pretty stoked. The dude's a solid dude. If you deal with him on the internet, on the internets, I'd say he's a safe seller to buy from.
He's always seemed really nice online. Yeah, I don't know him as that closely, but he seems like a nice fella.
He is a nice fella.
And he threw in a free. I mean, it's a free frag viper, mate.
I love anything army building guys, and especially when it's like mint condition. Like there's no paint wear on this frag viper. The guy's crisp.
I'm crisp.
Cookie
Crisp McLeod.
Cookie Crisp McLeod.
I like it. I'm gonna have to do what do you call it? Photoshop. Anyway, this is really difficult to balance all these hats on my head. It's still gonna happen, but my next trick is actually very topical and current, and you'll see that when I get it. No, I do need help, honey, but not with this.
He needs assistance.
I need a lot of help. Now, Eric Aranya, my wonderful, wonderful good friend Eric Aranya of Boss Fight Studios, who lives just around the corner from me. We're doing a luchador podcast, which like kind of the Mexican wrestling podcast, and it's actually we've only done a couple of episodes so far, and it's been like crazy how popular it seems to be getting. So that was quite fun. So I'm the producer and editor. Eric is the talent with a couple of other guys, Jeffrey and Matt, who are like wrestling super people on Twitter and have their own podcast and stuff. Anyway, because I've been in this wrestling zone for a while, Eric's been looking out for certain wrestling figures that I might be interested in, including obviously this guy who came up in conversation quite recently. And it's the Sarge.
Yes, that's a great figure. One, I love that guy.
So I have the basic Sarge, which again Eric got me, and that's really cool with the hat and the shades. He managed to get this one on like some sort of lot or something, or off eBay for like really cheap. So he's not complete, but obviously he's got his little whistle round his neck. It's got this little whistle, and I just love that head sculpt.
Yeah, the head sculpt's
brilliant,
great.
and the actual what he's wearing and everything is cool, and you can actually put the hat that I've got on the basic on him, and it fits. So I probably will be utilizing this one as the one that stands with Snake Eyes and Shang-Chi up there. By the way, still haven't received any of the other figures yet. I'm like reporting on this news about Zartan and all these, and I don't even have Scarlet Duke and Destro in hand and Roadblock, so I'm sad. But
if I didn't get lucky, I wouldn't
Eric.
have them either.
Look how
yeah,
good he
man,
is.
I love that. And well, speaking of which,
we have to mention.
I'm totally remiss. I totally should have had this in here, but if those of you guys following Valaverse, Bobby Vala's Action Force line that I did logos for, I mean, I should have had it in here, but he actually...
There's the figure. I've got the figure. I've got the prototype here, guys. So it's all good.
He actually has Sergeant Slaughter legit part of Action Force now, like with a video
Signed,
from the Sarge
sealed,
himself
Yep.
wearing. Now, how awesome to like! I'm watching this video. I'm like, he's wearing an Action Force T-shirt with the logo that I designed is on Sergeant Slaughter right now as he's doing this. How awesome is that?
This was another one of those things, wasn't it, where we didn't know we were working on something at the same time. So I was doing the Kickstarter video, the promo videos, and then like Kate and I were modeling the T-shirts for the shop. And then you're like, oh yeah, I've done the logos and this, and we were like on each other's shows, kind of talking about, and then I worked on this, and we're like, hey, I worked on that as well. I did the voiceover for this, and you're like, I did the logos for this, and it was like, what the hell? It's like everything that was being done by, fans or whatever, like seemed to have our inclusion in it, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, and I think we've talked. I'm like, we should just start our own creative agency that is just for like toy pop culture companies. Like we just work on that stuff.
Enterprise, as we could call it. I don't think that's been ever taken or done.
We could call it expendable enterprises.
The Brocker brothers, or
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
Tra- Trazan brothers, which is the Zartan truck in the recent Real American Hero comic. Oh man, that's kind of revving up now. Are you reading it, by the way?
No, I have to. So I haven't gotten to the comic shop that I get my comics from. So I hope they're still there. I mean, since the COVID thing happened, I haven't been there. So
Oh, fingers crossed.
it's the only one near me, it seems. So I have to get there, and I'm missing a few issues. I can't remember where I left off. I think I need at least maybe the last 3 issues. So, that's pretty good, actually. It's a good lining up there, Sarge.
He also, the Sarge has been retweeting tweets I've been putting out today, and he just retweeted another one and said that I won't read it because it'll take me ages to find it. But he said something along the lines of, "I get a pass. I don't have to do any push-ups at Atti's disease," which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love how like interactive he is with fans. Like I find that quite amazing how he follows like loads of people on Twitter. Like if they mention him or say anything nice about him, he's just like, boom, there you go. Here's a character tweet.
Right.
Me in character, and
Right.
you get to follow me, and I follow you back. He's great.
He is great. He's surprisingly great on social media for a guy from his era and his age, because those people usually have no idea what they're doing. But he seems to have the etiquette down, you know? So yeah, I mean, how awesome is that? I cannot wait. So if you backed the Action Force Kickstarter, I had to find this out because I wasn't sure. I already backed it. I already made the payment for the whole thing. You have to go to the CrowdOx. You have to you have to like open it up again. So edit your selections. Then you can add any extras you want, including Sergeant Slaughter. So I forgot to add the swarm packs. So I added swarm packs for all my swarm, because I think I got 4 swarm troopers. And then I added one of the gun packs, and then I added 2 sergeants. So I got 2 sergeants coming, so I'm excited. I spent way too much money in the last couple days, everybody. Like, insane.
Mate, I can tell. I thought I was bad yesterday with like 2 Ninja Vipers, Destro, 2 Cobra Commanders.
I got,
Gung Ho, Storm Shadow. Like, it was like, what?
I think I got 2 of every classified figure, except for 3 Ninja Vipers, 3 Storm Shadows I got. And then I did this Action Force thing on top of that. And I feel like, and I got the Optimus Prime too. Oh.
Yeah, you've done really well. Done really well.
Yeah, my bank account's not doing really well.
Mate, if I'm on the show next week, I'll wear the T-shirt you're wearing, and hopefully be able to show you some good stuff that's coming through.
Yeah.
I've got this one figure that's been on. It feels like it's one of those things. It wasn't a Kickstarter or anything, but it was like a pre-order, and it was a Warhammer figure from Bandai, and like a Space Marine, which it was the first time they've ever done a Space Marine. Like the little Space Marine figures from like Warhammer and 40K and all that stuff. They did one in like a full size action figure, so that's coming soon, and I can't wait to see it, because like I've being a kid from the UK, Warhammer was like a big deal. Games Workshop was the name of the store that used to do these things, and it was all like tabletop gaming with little tiny little painted miniatures and stuff.
Right, tabletop. My buddy did that. Yeah, those things that's like a serious hobby for people.
I was into it for like a few years when I was a kid, but yeah, it's like being into Joe and having your own podcast
and things. Yeah. Brian Wilkins says Sarge killed that promo too. He did. He killed that promo. Like, this is like straight up. He's back on on Saturday Night Main Event doing WWF promos. Like, that was like, he had the voice down and everything. He was killing it. They Gone is blowing up the
Action Force. He did sound like he was doing the overdubs for the He sounded like he was doing the overdubs for the Action Force.
He sold it, man. Brilliant. I was like, all right, I'm going to buy it right now, Sarge. Like, I'm not even waiting. So, They Gone said he Sarge follows him, but he doesn't follow Sarge. That's like a level of cool. If you can get one of these celebrities, like you don't even follow them, and they're following you. You're like, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have space in my follows for you. You can, if you want to get at me, you know where I am, Sarge. That's it. Like, oh, it's funny.
I met him. We met him at Joe Fest as well, didn't
Yeah.
we?
Oh,
Super
dude.
nice guy. Super nice
Awesome.
guy. He even spoke to Kate as well, who was dressed up as Sergeant Slaughter
Yeah, that's
herself.
right. That's right.
Although the in joke was that she was dressed as Sergeant Slammer, but no one really knew other than me. She had a tash and she had the hat and everything. The shades looked
Oh, it's
absolutely
great. It was
incredible.
great.
And there's a great picture of the two of them like meeting and shaking hands and chatting, and it's brilliant. It's like what. Anyway, yeah, Coles. That's Sarge.
Yeah, Sarge, man. Yeah, he was great. I gave him some of the postcards that I had done back in the day with the one where he's
Brilliant.
cracking the knuckles, and like I gave him the whole set.
Yeah.
I gave him the whole set, but the one on top, of course, was him cracking the knuckles with the bats running at him, and he was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's like, this is amazing. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, oh, can I get you something? And he wanted to give me, one of his pictures and sign it for free because he charged for that. And I was like, I said, I already got one from you. Thank you so much. I don't want I just want you to have this. Like, I just, this is for you.
So adorable.
I don't want anything else from you. He's like, oh, thanks so much. And he had his like, I don't know if it was his wife or his wife there.
Yeah.
So he showed. I saw
And doggies.
Like, I kind of like left and I went around and I kind of watched to see what he would do. And he took him out and he showed him to his wife. And then his little like
That's
agent
adorable.
guy, handler guy was there, and he was looking at him. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So that's so good.
Adorable.
So
Good move, man. Good move.
hey, I do once in a while. I have a good idea. Usually, nothing but bad ideas. All right, so.
Do I look like the leader at the moment with like a massive head?
Yeah, you do look like the leader. You just need a lot of green. More green.
More green than
More
this.
green than that. Okay, so I do have one more thing in my hand that I want to show. It's a quick one. It's a quick one.
Cheater.
We got, we're coming up on 2 hours. I might as well get us to the 2 hour
Good
mark.
point.
One other thing that came in this week or last week or whatever is I got another AVAC. Crispy AVAC with his parachute. And the reason he has his parachute and the reason he's mint condition is because he's never been opened, sealed.
He's a baggied one. That's
baggied
amazing.
AVAC. So I couldn't pass him up. Instagram came up.
Rips on screen,
I know.
falls
I
out.
was like, look at it, it's great.
everywhere.
It shatters. It's just dust. The plastic disintegrates. Yeah, came up on Instagram, good price, and I was like, I'm doing it. Add them to my sealed driver collection. So excited.
Perfect.
I love. I mean, if we get a classified series AVAC, I'm just gonna say because they could do a fire bat. They could do a fire bat. It's not that big.
Mate. Yeah, but they'd do the grey one with like 2 seat, like a fucking 15-seat grey AVAC. Like I like you could say honestly, at the moment you could say any character. You could say Armadillo, and I'd be like, like for the classified line, I don't care. Like any figure is going to be absolutely amazing.
How hilarious would it be if the next one that we don't know is coming, the next one that isn't already listed, right? Maybe we get through the list,
Yeah.
and there's like a gap, and you're like, is there any more classifieds coming? Like, what's going on? We're like, oh, here's the release. Here's the release of Fan First Friday. The armadillo, skid mark, and windmill.
Mate,
Can you
I'd be
imagine
happy as hell.
The fire on Facebook, the fury. I kind of want them to do it just to troll. Maybe they do like a fake drop, and they don't actually make the figures, but they pretend it's gonna be these, and just to see what kind of fury they can create. This is why I don't work for a toy company. I'd be like, I'll do the art. We'll mock it all up. We'll make it look real, and just see how pissed off we can make everybody.
The network app, I recorded the chat as it was, the screen as the chat was going, as the video played over and over again. And my God, I've never seen so many angry face, middle finger, fire, explosion emojis, angry red face emojis in all my life.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. I mean, I was PO'd at that app too, but it was...
I know, I managed to get 2 by accident.
It was more from the standpoint of like working in UX design and working in these environments, that kind of standpoint. Like, you have to know this is going to happen. I like it's almost if I worked for the company and it failed, I'd be the idiot and I'd be the jerk in the meeting being like, what are we doing? How are we doing this? Who's in charge of this? Like, how did we not figure this out? Everybody like, oh, we know we're trying to fix it. I'm like, no, this is unacceptable. That's how I would.
Yeah, and then everyone would be fired.
Right.
And then it's you doing everything.
Like Steve Jobs, everybody, they'd be gone. I'd be like, who are you? Get out of here. I don't even know you. But yeah, like I get this stuff happens.
I started the company. Yeah.
I started the company.
Oh, someone. Sneak peek. Nah, I'm all over sneak peek. Sneak peek would be great in the classified.
Came with this telescoping thing, dude.
Exactly.
Honestly,
you think like
I can't.
You can think of some goofy figures, but they would all be brilliant because they're all like accessory heavy, like Tiger Force Blizzard or like any of those guys would be ridiculously awesome.
Psych Out.
Like
a guy that you're like, oh, he's stupid, but if you saw him in a classified detail with his accessories, you'd lose your mind. Lightfoot obviously comes to mind. I'm just gonna say.
Oh, Lightfoot! If we saw Lightfoot, I would shit my balls. Pardon my French.
You know what they should do?
I would shit my balls.
I would do this. I would do. I know they're not legally allowed to do this anymore, but it doesn't matter. I would do a Lightfoot, but I would change his file name to Christopher McLeod. So you could lose it.
Oh my god! If Hasbro ever did that, which they will do, because I'm getting really close with them now. I'm kidding. I will send a few emails tonight though, just to remind them. Hey guys, if you're going to do Lightfoot, don't forget that there was a typo on his name. His name is actually, and then I'll send them all my details and see if they get confused and tricked
all their deets
by it.
Yeah, they might not even know. They might just be like, "Oh, that's correct."
Yeah, that's right. It must be. It's in an email.
Dagon says Crazy Legs. That would be awesome too.
Oh,
I love it. I love all these figures.
The textures on his suit would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And a parachute, like a fake parachute or a parachute that worked even would be freaking amazing. Like a vinyl. They could do a vinyl packed parachute. I mean, couldn't they?
Fisher Price did vinyl parachutes with Adventure People.
Or like that kind of hard silken material.
Yeah.
Like it's silky, it's smooth, but it's like quite
silky
coarse.
And it's smooth. Because we all know Crazy Legs is silky smooth. He's got to shave those legs. He's wearing the.
His legs are crazy. I just imagine him like in a club, like dancing, and his like upper body is completely stationary, and his legs are like doing this. He's like Lord of the Dance and everything. He's like, that's why it's called Crazy Legs.
It's a dance off of Footloose and Crazy Legs. Footloose is doing all the like Kevin Bacon moves, and then you got Crazy Legs just doing the Lord of the Dance.
Slides in on his socks with like a white shirt on and his underpants.
No, that's Maverick. Yeah. Maverick comes in doing that because it's Tom. Yeah, it's Tom Cruise. Get it? All right, we hit 2 hours, so we've hit the milestone. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us. We still somehow have 13 viewers hanging on with this marathon nerd out.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, I think at one point we were up to 20 or close to 20. So that's cool. For this little show, pretty good. So
I'm gonna say it's the entertainment you've got going on, mate. That's what it is.
I can take the mail call down now. There we go. It's gone.
I do like that. I can see it now. The Buffalo Mail Call is a lovely logo.
Even though
I love it very much.
I'm in Cleveland now, but hey, the roots. I put that together in like 5 minutes. I'm like, I need a mail call graphic. So, okay, cool. Well, hey, this was awesome. I had a good time. Nerding out.
Sames.
There's just so much to talk about. There's so much more to talk about. I feel like I may have to supplement Thursday Night Battles with regular Saturday Night Nerdouts because
I like that. I can do that. I've got no life.
I think we do this on like a week like this, like a week where there's a lot to talk about. That's perfect for this. You know what I mean? And as long as neither of us have anything else going on, because let's face it, we don't have lives on Saturday nights. Most people are out.
But I would say, I'm a man that wears many hats.
I was gonna let that breathe for a little bit.
Let that one breathe a little bit. Yeah. I thought that was an absolute killer of a joke, but
it was good.
At the same time, we have no lives mainly because we're doing things like this all the time. So, I'm down for doing this on a regular basis, or even semi-regular, as the Americans say. Semi-regular.
Semi-regular.
I'm happy to do semi-rego. Yeah.
Semreg.
Let's do this. Let's do this on a semi-regular basis. Who wants us to do this on a semi-regular basis? If you want us to do this on a semi-regular basis, right? Yes, Chris, we want to do this on a semi-regular basis in the comments.
Okay, let's see. All right, everyone's leaving. Oh, everyone's.
And everyone's gone.
Everyone's
Brilliant.
gone.
Yeah.
And
okay.
what you see in South Park, and it's gone when they put the money in the bank. And it's gone immediately. And so it's going to move this over to an investment account, and it's gone. It's all gone. What do you mean? It's all gone. Please.
I'm ready
make
to
room.
see them do Night Force versions. Me too.
Oh,
Jesus,
dude,
I'm up for Night Force.
Tiger Force and Night Force versions. You might as well. They'd be just printing money at that point.
I'm sorry, by the way, Brian, but I personally will not be at Joe Fest this year. Apologize for that. It's just not gonna happen for me, unfortunately. I was concerned, obviously, when it was like peak COVID.
What?
Now it's second peak COVID,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm already terrified about it. So I don't think I'm going to be making that one.
I don't blame you at all. There's a good chance that I don't go, even though I've got the hotel set. I've got everything set. I'm gonna wait as close as I can, but I don't think it's going to get any better. And it sucks. It really does suck. But if you figure like by the time September rolls around, we'll be that much closer to June, and hopefully they do it in June again, and we can get right to June.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
But yeah, Brian, I hope to see you there. If I do make it, we'll definitely hang out with masks on. I'll have to get some G.I. Joe bedsheet masks made up. And Sarge will be there, right? Or will he not be there? Who knows now? Larry Hama's not going to be there, I found out. So,
Yeah. I get the feeling we're going to have a few people dropping off as it gets closer, because I think people are kind of like half committing to it.
Right.
And I would love to, but I just, mate, I can't see. It just seems like, we were kind of doing well, kind of quarantining, and then it just went straight back up again, like some high ass, like, COVID cases have kind of happened recently, so it's just like, oh,
I know. So
I don't want to get that. I've just had appendectomy. I've had an emergency appendectomy, guys. I mean, come on. Right. I never talk about it. You've never heard about it before.
It's the first time I'm hearing it.
It's not like exactly. Sorry, carry on.
We didn't get graphic detail early on in the episode. So cool. All right. Well, everybody, thanks so much for being here. Thanks to everyone for hanging out and listening to us talk about stuff. We'll be doing this maybe on a semi-regular basis. And I, as planned now.
No one said that they would wanted to do it, by the way. So
I know.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it's still a maybe. I saw somebody put Saturday night. Dagon did, so maybe that means he does.
Thanks, Dagon.
He'll be here.
That's one person that's going to tune in. Yeah.
But I should be back Thursday unless something changes with James White, Signal Noise, who did the Prophet Director Destro art. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys on Instagram, maybe with some more stuff this week. Might have some more photos to post. We'll see. I got to get going now.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
It's 10 o'clock. I got to go like pull an all-nighter finishing this photo. So anytime,
Good
Chris,
luck.
thanks for jumping on. Had a blast.
Thank you. I did too.
I'll see you soon. Yo, Joe, everybody.